Someone explain to me why it's a controversial and crazy take to believe that women shouldn't have to work a job. Are they telling me that's what women were put on this earth to do? They weren't meant to, go to farmers markets and run around and do fun things all day and read books and sunbathe and nap all day. Like, why can't they?
The idea that women don't have to work will always be the alt-right pipeline. Please keep that in mind. And ladies, let me tell you something. Men only gatekeep the good stuff. Anytime somebody tries to convince you that work wasn't meant for women, please remember that men have never gatekept anything shitty away from us. Women had to fight for these rights. Okay, for a woman, being able to go to work is a privilege. And now they're basically wanting us to do their dirty work for them and refuse to work. All of a sudden, wake up and realize that oh yeah, we don't want to work anymore. We want to leave the workforce in droves. Do you know how much they would love that actually? To me, this is not only the alt-right pipeline, this is also example of extinction burst from men where they're literally no, just give us back our stuff. It'll be nice, I promise. You can spend your whole day reading books and going to the farmer's market and stuff like that. With what money? Because this whole suggestion sounds like a fucking fever dream, honestly. Where are women going to get this money to go to the farmer's market and read books all day? Is the government going to subsidize our lifestyle? Or is this just only an option that's available to married women? Oh, well, if it's only available to married women, then trust me, there has to be a catch. Anytime that something is promised to you, but you have to do something first, there's a catch. Obviously, this lifestyle that this man is describing here is not available to all women. This is not available to single women. This is no government subsidy for this lifestyle. This is available to you within marriage, provided that your husband goes to work, quote unquote, lets you stay home so that you as a woman don't have to work. We are not falling for the benevolent patriarch trope ever again, ladies, because you are just exchanging work for work in that scenario. Really listen up if this kind of content has ever caught your attention as oh, the men are being nice to us. They're acknowledging that work sucks and that girls don't like to work. Ladies, guess what? Men don't like to work either. Do you know why they go to work? It's to have financial power, which is the only kind of power that matters in our world, especially in a capitalist society like the USA with no social safety net. Once again, if this program is not available to single women, that means it's not being subsidized by any sort of government or entity or anything like that, which means you're basically falling for benevolent patriarch trope and exchange of services, right? A man will never keep you around for free, okay? When he says, oh, women should be going to farmers markets and reading books and doing all this stuff and laying outside in the sun, he means after they've cleaned the house, provided that they don't have kids with their husband, provided that they have no other responsibilities, hopes, dreams. All of this is leisure time, right? None of this includes actually pursuing your hopes and dreams as a woman, because that's what men would consider quote unquote careers. And you would do that only for money. Pursuing hopes and dreams that would take you out of the house or away from the children or away from his dirty laundry, anything like that. Okay, all of this is provided that, like I said, the house is clean when you leave to go to the farmer's market and read your little book and go lay out in the sun, provided you have time to do all that day after you have not just cleaned, but restocked the groceries, made sure everything is good in the fridge, made sure everything is good in the pantry, make the bed, clean the bathrooms, clean the kitchen, make his coffee, etc. He expects you to have the time to do that. Then, like I said, all of your activities are going to be leisurely. They don't actually entail any sort of plan, goal, hope, dream, nothing like that. You're only allowed to participate in dumb, brainless woman things, which is how men think that all women would love to be spending their time. They also mean until you have kids with that man. Once you have kids with that man, when are you going to go to that farmer's market? When are you going to read that book? You don't work and he works. And if nobody works, then you guys can't eat. So he works and the kids are your responsibility. Because at the end of the day, most of these men are definitely going to want to procreate. So once again, you are not being given anything for free, okay? This is just an exchange. It's just a different type of work exchange. You need to always keep that in mind, because unless that man is actually offering to like retire you while still paying you a salary, then you are not getting anything for free and there's no benefit in you not working. Because what that means is the man, unless he's legally bound, even in that case, that man can still walk away and leave you penniless and broke in the street with no shelter, no work history, nothing like that. This is the patriarchy's wet dream. Okay, just remember that. Because seriously, have the men ever done anything nice for us just to be nice? Think about it. Men don't do these things just to be nice. They do these things because they gain something from it. And not only would they gain like free house servants if we went back to this quote unquote system where women don't quote unquote have to work. First of all, these men would go back to having an indentured servant, mommy bang maid in their house. Basically, all they had to do was bait and switch you with some farmer's market and books, while the men get to keep direct access to money, access to the workplace, careers, success, goals, hopes, dreams. Women get farmers markets and they get to read a book and lay out in the sun. This guy is trying to torpedo us back into the 1950s, but worse. Access to work is a privilege. Being able to have and earn your own money is a privilege. This is why men are trying to take it away from us right now. No surprise to me that it's coming at a time when women are employed at higher rates, when women are on average like making more money, more college educated, etc. Of course, the men want to be like, hey, you guys don't have to work. Why don't you just marry one of us and then you don't have to work? Ladies, if you don't realize it, you're in danger. God forbid you agree with this stuff, okay? Please rethink that. Because not only would this benefit men with an indentured servant, it would also benefit them by being able to discredit women en masse. And being like, see, women were never meant for power positions. Look at how many of them would rather stay at home and like read a book and go to the farmer's market. That means we lose our leverage, which is exactly what the men would want us to do. They're basically pissed that the oppression isn't working anymore. So now they're trying to cloak it as, no, it'll be nice oppression with the farmer's market and a book. Yeah, no thank you. Stay safe out there, ladies. I love you so much. Godspeed.